everyone, and welcome back to Lychee Pink Planner. Now, I've had a couple of weeks off. Like everybody, I sometimes get into a bit of a planner funk as well. Although I've actually had more things to do than what I have the entire lockdown, when it came to the creative side of planning, I kind of lost my mojo a little bit, to be quite honest. So I took a couple of weeks out. I needed some time to also just rest. I don't want to make this kind of like a whingy, moany, woe is me video. Many of you will be aware that I have fibromyalgia. During that time, I also had a couple of not particularly nice flares. Often that does happen with the weather change, especially if there's quite a dramatic change in the temperature. I mean, no more than 2 weeks ago, everyone was moaning, and I say everyone, you know, myself included. It was raining, it was dismal, it was just about 13 degrees. And then within the space of 2 days, we're up in 27, 28, 29 and quite humid. So I've had a couple of weeks where I've been feeling quite sore, not being particularly mobile, joints have swollen, my hands have swollen. You know, that is something that I get really afflicted with. Anyway, let's move on because I'm feeling better. So I have in front of me almost I suppose you'd call it a mini haul. I hate haul. That always seems just so cheesy because I haven't had a haul. I've just brought stuff and I'd like to show you what I've brought. I also have a couple of gifts as well that I would really like to now just take the opportunity to thank the individuals that sent me the gifts and to give them a bit of a shout out. So the first gift that I was given, and again I just need to make a quick apology. Nikki sent me this gift. It was about 2 weeks ago, at the start actually, when I wasn't feeling particularly well, so this is slightly delayed. However, I always thank the person either in person if I know them or via private message if they've sent me a gift via the post. So Nikki has already been thanked. So this is a shout out, as you would already have worked out, to Nikki. Now, I've known Nikki for quite a while. Many of you within the UK planner groups will know of Nikki. Her Instagram handle is A Book, A Brew and Crafting 2. And I will also link in the description below if you want to have a little look at Nikki's grid. Now, Nikki herself is on a fascinating journey. Now, aside from this beautiful coaster here that she made me, I just feel that I want to draw some attention to Nikki's grid. Now, Nikki is very brave. Now, for a long time, she has also been feeling quite poorly with a few conditions, and it's taken quite a while for Nikki and her specialists to be able to work out exactly what it was that was afflicting Nikki. Now, Nikki has been diagnosed with ataxia. Now, I'll be honest, when Nikki and I first had a conversation about it, I was totally ignorant to the condition. So, you know, I went on Dr. Google, did a bit of Googling, and I've had in-depth conversations with Nikki about it. Now, this particular form has been triggered by the ingestion of gluten and how the body reacts to gluten. Many people find themselves, you know, you have a bit of bread, oh, I feel a bit bloated. This is a completely different thing. And Nikki is on a journey to completely and utterly eradicate gluten from not just her diet, but her whole household. That's how much gluten affects Nikki's body, and it is autoimmune. So Nikki's body goes, oh, gluten, bad, and literally will start to attack her own body. It's very unpleasant, and it can have some very long-lasting side effects. On Nikki's grid, she is currently fundraising for the charity Ataxia UK. If you have the opportunity and you have just a few spare pounds, if you would consider donating, it would be amazing. So anyway, Nikki is trying to eradicate gluten from everything. That includes shampoos, conditioners, body wash. I would never have thought that gluten was in shampoo and conditioner. You see, all in the bottles that they're SLS free, paraben free, but it never says gluten free. You go into a supermarket and there's the gluten free section, but there is not shampoo, body wash and all of those kind of things. When you read into it, it's absolutely amazing. Anyway, Nikki is very, very talented. She is a planner at heart, but she's also recently invested in an amazing sewing machine. Now, excuse my ignorance, please, Nikki. I don't actually know what sewing machine you have invested in. However, just look at this. It's just beautiful. And I just want to say thank you ever so much. She's making tea coasties. She can make bookmarks. Basically, if you want something sewn onto material, hit Nikki up and she'll be able to help you with it. So thank you so much for this, Nikki. It is absolutely beautiful and it sits at my desk. And I actually don't want to put a cup on it because I'm worried that I might because I'm a bit of a Ribena fan. I'll put Ribena on it and I'll get Ribena juice on it. So it just kind of sits at the side. So thank you so much for that, Nikki. The next person who I would like to thank is Grace and the Chief Packer from Oodlemadoodles. So every month I put in a special order. So about a year ago, when I first got my homebody planner, I had a little bit of a flick through of it and I loved all of the particular dividers, apart from I was a bit picky about July. And I had a discussion with Grace and I said, look, I love everything else about the planner. I love that it's homebody, beautiful. I love the florals. But we don't really do the 4th of July, with the beautiful stars and stripes. And I love it, but it isn't anything that I associate with. So I was like, I wish there was a way that I could just cover this because it doesn't necessarily resonate with me. And so we had a discussion and we came up with the idea of basically making an A4 huge sticker that would go over the top to cover it. Well, that then went from being just for July to me then going, oh, I kind of like the idea of putting it on the back page for May. Then I had one for April and March. Now, because I'd been having a bit of a moment, I completely and utterly forgot to order this. I always order my monthly kit and then I go onto Grace's page and I go onto the Erin Conran section because Grace makes a hexagon design and that goes onto a separate page. It's part of the Erin Conran theme. And I just say, can you make it A4? And I check out and I pay. Well, I completely and utterly forgot. And Grace was so lovely. She sent me a message and said, I just thought I'd kind of let you know. I think you may have forgotten your July A4, as that was the whole reason, we'd had this conversation was the July one. She said, and I've just popped it in with your order. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Because I'd just been having those couple of weeks where if I walked into a room and somebody said to me, excuse me, what are you doing here? A, I wouldn't know. B, I wouldn't know who I was. And then within about 2 minutes of them asking me that, I would then go, I'm sorry, what did you say? Because I wasn't able to retain anything. So I really, really appreciate that really lovely gesture and I absolutely adore it. Thank you very much for being so kind and sending that to me and also reminding me, because I would have started to have done my July spread and then I'd have gone, 5 minutes, I forgot to order this. Now, in a slight change to what I would normally do, this is, well, it's definitely a prattle, as it always is. But I'm going to do slightly something different. So this is this week's spread that I have already done and decorated. Now, I've done it very, very different. I've kind of done a scrapbook theme with some stamps. And I've already typed in it. Now, any keen-eyed people out there will notice that the font is different. I did not type this up on Joan because Joan has a smaller font. So I got these old stamps from eBay. I pressed some daisies using the method that I've done a video before of how to press them in the microwave. And I literally just ripped up some bits of paper and I added them in, typed up a quote that I really liked, and then added in some of my things that I need to do. And I've just realised that I've put that I've got to collect the crabs on Wednesday when I haven't. I've got to collect the crabs on Tuesday. And I've obviously got some phone appointments and consultations. So this week's video is actually going to be me writing my letter to Tom Hanks, the grandfather of typewriters. I thought I'd bring you along on this journey because if Tom Hanks does reply to me, I'll be able to show you. But then you would have also been there with me when I first wrote the actual letter. To send to Mr. Hanks, I nipped to my nearest Boots and I have printed off some photos that I thought that he may find interesting. That one I don't like because I had it printed with some details on it and I was just like, nah, that doesn't look very nice. I hope this is right. Is it? See, I see seaweed. The seaweed. So they're now using this particular company as their main photo printing booths, and it is so much more easier. You also pay there is a chip and pin there, and the print quality is absolutely perfect. I initially printed up this and I didn't really like it, but look, you can get 6 photos on one, and this was 42p and it's full colour, absolutely stunning. You can also edit your photos on there. You can change them into black and white. See, look, I also did like a whoop, did like a whoop, did like a whoops. I also did a black and white here, but I didn't quite, when it then came out, I was like, no, I'm not too sure of that one. So I've printed up these for Tom Hanks because I'm going to include them in my letter. Now, I went onto eBay and I won an auction for this gorgeous, gorgeous aerogram. Now, aerograms were completely and utterly phased out by 1992. Now, basically what they were is that you could buy these. This was your stamp and your stationery all in one, and they could be sent anywhere around the world for the same price via airmail. Now, like I say, these were completely and utterly discontinued, but they had some absolutely gorgeous designs, and I decided that this would be the one that I'm going to send to Tom Hanks. Now, initially, I had found... Let me find here. I had found a couple... Look, absolutely gorgeous. I'd found this one and this one that I was going to send to him, and then there was this one in regards to the royal wedding. I wasn't sending it, you know, because I'm like a total royalist or anything else like that. It was just because it was kind of like retro cool, but then I figured, no. So I have plans for this. I do have plans for this, and this is going to be something that I'm going to add into a planner spread very soon. I also noticed the quality. This one, obviously being late 90s, is a lot thicker than these ones, a lot thicker. But I intend on writing the letter, putting it in here, putting the pictures in here, and then putting it into a separate envelope anyway. Put my spread away. Attempt to. I think it might be time to get some expander rings on. Halfway through the year and we're getting quite thick. Let's bring in Joan. No. Hang on. I've got to work out, if you're opening this up, which way will you read it from? Oh. Oh, come on, big game. Joan. Thank you. It's hard to tell There we go, I think we're getting there. There's about 3 hours difference from where the end of that video is to where we are now. The reason being is that my camera decided that it didn't want to record anymore because I think it's too hot here in LPP HQ, and the fact that I had to go and nip, I had to go and collect my son, I had to go and get an envelope from the post office, and well, you know. So to bring this to a draw, I have written a letter to Mr. Hanks. I've included a self-addressed envelope so he can potentially reply to me should he want to. I have no expectation that he will write back to me, but I've popped my an envelope with my address on it just in case he should feel the urge to write back to me. Hopefully we'll get maybe a reply. Who knows? Thank you for persevering with me that I took a couple of weeks off. I'll see you all again next week for another plattle and plan that will involve me actually planning. Well, hey! Right, thanks very much and take care. Bye!